Welcome back to Beyond the Balance, the podcast where we go deeper than dollars and cents to explore how people build meaningful lives, careers, and businesses. My name is Mike Manganillo, and today's episode is a great one, especially for anyone who's ever thought about starting a business while juggling a full-time career. My guest today is Shannon Thomas, a co-founder of Fratelli's Deli in Apex, North Carolina, a family-owned deli built on tradition, community, and really great food. I can vouch for that one. Fratelli's opened in September of 2024 and has quickly become a local favorite. What makes Shannon's story especially interesting is that she didn't walk away from her corporate career to do so. She currently works full-time at IT tech sales at Pure Storage, and before that spent many years at Red Hat. Shannon, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
How do you sleep between the two jobs?
I don't.
Totally get it. So before we get into Fratelli's, I'd love to introduce yourself in words. Give us a little bit about your background, where you're from, and what led you to starting a deli.
Sure. So my background is I grew up in Long Island, New York. I actually went to college, was born and raised in Medford, went to a local college, did my MBA in Oakdale in Long Island as well. And then I got into IT. But prior to going into IT, I actually was a bond trader on Wall Street. So my background is international finance. Realized quickly that was not for me, got into the IT world, and I worked my way up from inside sales to field sales. And now I am currently working for Pure Storage, managing a IT firm, SHI, which is a woman-owned reseller out of New Jersey.
So is it IT sales that brought you down to the Research Triangle, or were you ahead of the times?
It actually was. So I moved here to, like you mentioned earlier, I came here for a position with Red Hat. And so I worked at Red Hat for the last 5 years, and then moved from Red Hat once we got acquired by IBM, and went to a startup company, GitLab, for a year and a half. And then now I've been at Pure Storage for 3 years.
Got it. I'm assuming your Long Island roots, like myself, the love of deli came from there. Can you talk to us about how you had the idea and what the process was to open a deli? I joke, I mean, we've been down here 16 years, which is crazy, way too long, that you're constantly arguing with every other person from the Northeast about the lack of good bagels, sandwiches, Italian food. I'm sure you guys were like that, but what was the process of ideating it to actually making it happen?
Yeah, so that was something that, from the beginning when we moved here, similar to you, we realized real quickly that we missed the foods that we were used to. I grew up in Long Island, so we missed the corner delis that were everywhere, the big sandwiches, meatballs, chicken parm. And then Dave, my husband, is also from Chicago. When we lived there, there's also Chicago delis, which is known for the Italian beef. And so when we moved here, we realized real quickly that there was not a place like what we were used to from our roots. And in talking to a lot of our friends that we've made here, they felt the same way. So we decided, why not? We're going to go out and we're going to start what we wanted to bring back from our roots to where we are building our roots with our family here in North Carolina.
So it wasn't a quick, let's start a deli.
Oh, gosh, no. It did not. It was not something like where we snapped our fingers and a deli appeared by any means.
And also, you guys don't have background in opening delis or restaurants, right?
No, we don't. So I took a lot. We took a lot of our internal skills that we've built over the years. And so I actually have a business degree, and I did a lot of the business planning, with the financing and stuff like that. Dave is an engineer, so he built the restaurant. And then we also utilized, RJ's skills with being in the culinary industry and actually working in restaurants for many years. We all brought in many pieces to be able to build this masterpiece that we've built here in Apex.
And I remember, just because my wife was a part of it, Karen,
yes.
Launch Apex, I think one of the original associations or programs that I guess maybe helped kick it off a little bit.
Absolutely. So Launch Apex was very big, at least for us. One of the things that was a big part of the Launch Apex program was building out a business plan. And each week we hit different pieces, and it all, included marketing, your financials, loans, which was a big thing for us because, we were very financially sound and were able to use a lot of our own internal money to build out the deli. But as we got closer and COVID hit and a bunch of things that came in from hindering us from opening the deli, we actually ran out of money. So we had to go out and we had to look to see if we can get a small business loan, which was something that was really hard to do. And that's something that, we overcame, which was great, but we had to go out and really try to find multiple banks that would give us a chance, because no one wanted to take a chance on a small business, especially a restaurant.
Yeah, that's always the problem. I think it's also an interesting balance between, there's companies out there to help small businesses out, but then if you don't have experience you might not be able to secure those loans. So.
Correct.
And then I also remember the outfitting was also always an issue, right? About getting money to actually put your building together. Correct.
So one of the big things that, with COVID came building costs rising building costs and stuff like that, which a lot of the building materials outpaced what we had from a finance perspective. But then also just building out the restaurant, it was hard to find the right people and the right plumbers so it was a lot of challenges each day that you had to overcome just to build the restaurant, even to open.
Yeah. And then once you open, was it just things were smooth?
No. Oh gosh, no. I remember the first day that we opened, we all sat afterwards and cried and asked, what did we do? Because it was not easy, because we knew in our hearts that we would be successful. At least we were hopeful. Mm-hmm. But the day that we opened our doors, we had to line out the door hours prior, and we ran out of everything. We did not plan well, but we pivoted and we really adapted quickly, which is why I think we are doing as well as we are doing today. People saw us like we didn't allow it to get us down. We made the necessary changes and we listened to the community and we grew quickly.
Yeah, I think being a part of your journey was the ability to adapt and pivot, right, of changing locations and then having issue of too many people showing up from the operational standpoint, processes in place. Was that all from your combined background from a engineering business standpoint of learning how to do that?
I definitely think so. I mean, I'm in sales currently today, like you mentioned. I still have my full-time job. And so in sales, you have to learn how to pivot. Like I had a really great 2 years with Pure Storage over the last 2 years. And this year has been actually a very challenging year. So I've had to pivot a lot in my own personal career as well. But the restaurant is, you have to adapt, change, pivot, and people always have an opinion. So you have to, really take that to account as well. Because if somebody, if you continue to hear similar complaints, you got to figure out how to fix things as well. So I think pivoting, adapting, and just listening to the community has been probably our biggest reason for our success.
Yeah, I was just going to say that sense of community, because let's actually rewind about how did you choose the name Fratelli's, and then we'll go into the sense of community.
Sure. So Fratelli's means brothers in Italian, and so I have 2 boys of my own, Austin and Carter, and then also RJ and Tyler, who are my cousin Kim's boys, are brothers as well. And so we really wanted to bring the name and the family aspect to the deli and the community. And it's also the Goonies,
of course,
the Fratelli brothers.
And I think you've had some super Goonie fans come in, right?
We have. We've had a lot of Goonies fans.
Listening to the community, I think you guys do better than most of just reacting or responding, especially when I look at all your Google reviews. I believe you guys respond to every single person who comments in Google, and I don't think many people do that.
It could be good or bad, but you're absolutely right. So yes, I personally respond to every single review that comes in, sometimes quicker than others, depending on my crazy life. Like as you mentioned earlier, I do have a full-time job still, as well as 2 boys in sports. So we do respond to every review, and we do try to make it right. And that's the one thing that we try to ask from the community is if you ever have an issue, come to us, we'll make it right.
Yeah. You just mentioned full-time job, 2 boys, similar age than ours. How do you balance? Beyond the balance, how is there a balance in life and work and having 2 full-time jobs? Not 2 full, but you know what I'm saying.
You depend on your family and friends, your community that you've built. You build a community and you build an army to raise your family. And I have definitely called in a lot of favors to help us out, just, with our everyday lives. But that's what you do it for, right? You bring your family, your community in. People know that we're real people. And I think that helps us in any aspect of the day.
Great. So for listeners who are thinking about starting a business, what would you tell them? That's a tough one.
Be patient. Don't give up. It's not easy. Figure out how you can do it. It will eventually pay off, I think, but make sure that you know that it will not be an easy start. At least it wasn't for us. I can only speak to our experience. But the rewards that we see today with the people coming in with the smile, the regular customers that we have, the compliments that we receive, like you mentioned, the Google reviews, it's all worth it.
Totally. So what is before we end, I believe a lot of listeners have been, or hopefully will go to Fratelli's after this. What is beyond the menu item that you could recommend, or in addition to something that is on the menu that you would say, try it out?
Ooh.
That's a tough one. I've had almost everything.
We have, I'll tell you our top sandwiches. The corned beef, right? So corned beef is a huge one. So the Reuben, our meatball heroes. But don't forget to go in and look at the take and bakes that we have.
Okay.
A lot of people come just for our sandwiches, but we have catering and take and bake options that I think people forget about. And then we also have amazing desserts.
I would second all that. I also would say you would have the best tater tots in town.
We do.
There might be a T-shirt there.
I was going to say there might be a T-shirt that your wife helped us design, that Karen designed with us. That's another thing. We have a lot of fun, and we really try to bring the community in. And Karen has helped us build the community and the fun through branding.
Yeah, I remember one of them was when all the elections were going on. You had election signs for Vote for Pedro, right? Vote for Tots.
Vote for Fratelli.
Vote for Fratelli.
And somebody actually wrote us in the Apex.
Oh, did they? That's hysterical.
Yep.
Well, where can people find more about you or Fratelli's? Where should we send them?
So Fratelli's Delicatessen.com. You can hit us up, Fratelli's Deli, on Instagram and Facebook. Or you can just come in and visit us in person.
You guys are in Sweetwater, I believe.
Sweetwater. Right? It's
you're the Anchor building too, right? We
are the Anchor building. So one of the Anchor buildings when you first pull into Sweetwater.
Great. Well, thanks for everything today.
Thanks, Mike, for having me.
TradeWinds LLC is an investment advisor registered under the Investment Advisors Act of 1940. The information presented in the material in general in nature and is not designed to address your investment objectives, financial situation, or practical needs. Prior to making any investment decision, you should assess or seek advice from a professional regarding whenever any particular transaction is relevant or appropriate to your individual circumstances. Although taken from reliable sources, TradeWinds cannot guarantee the accuracy of the information received from third parties. The opinions expressed herein are those of TradeWinds and may not actually come to pass.